we honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
The Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
guy back here. From Wrocław, you are watching the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championships on World Lacrosse TV and Lax TV. I'm Steven Stamp, shortly to be joined by Bill Searle. And we have Israel making their debut and getting their first shot just a little bit wide from Bo Chetner, just moments into the game. They are up against Portugal, who played maybe the game of the day yesterday, a thriller with Norway, in which they had to score the last 4 goals to come within 1. They almost made it back. 3 goals in the last 4 minutes, a 9-8 loss. Sorry about my voice. Not sure what exactly is going on. Only a couple days in here, and usually have a lot more vocal stamina than this, but so it goes. You might be hearing a lot of Bill Searle today. He is back after being over to do the roster announcements.
You guys are going to be so lucky to have me on.
And there we have the first goal of the game.
Portugal is actually coming off a really tight loss to Norway yesterday. I think the Norwegians surprised them, going out 6-0 relatively early in that game before Portugal was able to respond 21 minutes in. Score ended up being 9-8.
Yeah, I was just talking about how they got the last 4 goals. Didn't mention 2 of those from Michael Hawkins and 2 from Thomas Vella. So Vella wearing 0 and Hawkins wearing 2. And they will be the guys to keep an eye on. But Israel goes back to Bo Chetner. That's the first look they had on the opening possession. Israel heavy favorites in this game. They didn't play in the 2022 European qualifiers because they'd already qualified for the Worlds in San Diego, where they finished 7th. They've been in 3 World Lacrosse Championships and finished 7th in each. They did compete in 2 European Championships. 2012, Israel came 8th. 2016, they came 2nd. Portugal has never competed in a European Championship, so this is their debut. They did play in that qualifier in 2022. They came 22nd of the 22 teams. So they are a team on the rise with their close battle against Norway, but this is going to be a big challenge for the Portuguese.
Israel only lost that final in the last full European Championship in Budapest by 1 goal, 7-6 to England.
Tight, low-scoring game. The English, there have been 10 European men's field championships, men's lacrosse championships. The English have won 9 of them and lost in the final ones. So they've done pretty well.
So I believe Germany is the only other team that's won it.
It's true.
Who knows what's going to happen this year? Could be a surprise. We got a lot of up-and-coming teams.
The English obviously favored to be up amongst that top group. We'll see how that plays out as we have a drive to the net here and a shot. Nice save there from starting goaltender Stephen Callisto for Portugal, but we're going to have a cross-checking penalty on this play. Drew Morris is between the pipes for Israel down at the other end.
That was one of those late cross-checks after the ball's gone. Guys finishing their so-called check.
I believe it's so-called finishing their check. It's definitely a check. It's not so-called. It's the finishing that's up in the air. Israel working the perimeter.
Loose attempt at a hidden ball.
Yeah. Chetner is going to be a force for Israel in this tournament. They have a deep and talented roster. Ian Kadish taking the draws for the Israelis, and he is also the communications person for Israel Lacrosse. He sends out a newsletter. I don't know if you're on the list. I get that all the time. Keeps you up to date with the goings on.
The World Lacrosse newsletter?
No, the Israel Lacrosse newsletter.
I am not on that one.
You should join up. Ian will happily send you updates. Possession and a drive to the net. Ronan Abramovich is going to peel back out, hand it off to Yakov Silberlicht. veteran of this team, has played for many Israeli teams, both in box and field. And one of the fitter, tougher per pound guys you'll see on a lacrosse field. He's got some good flow too.
That's important.
It is. You don't want the cheesy flow. He's got the legit flow. Member of the Israeli
You mean the
Air
mullet?
Force. It's not a mullet.
Oh, I know that.
Okay. Yeah, oh, the cheesy flow is the mullet. Yes.
The old Yaromir Yager.
Yeah. It's funny because people made a big deal of his hair. I always thought he had some of the worst hair going until he got it cut shorter.
Depends on the decade.
It does. It does. And he played a lot of decades. Here is Silberlicht. Nice little dodge. Rip. Bouncer scores. Yakov Silberlicht pushes the Israelis ahead 3-0.
Just a quick face dodge from inside the restraining line. Got the defender to move a little bit to the left and created some space. Nice short side bounce. Hard for the goaltender to get to.
Already we're seeing how Israel is dominating play, really controlling it. So the key for Portugal obviously is going to be get some stops, get some loose balls on the defense, like knock some balls out, try and force Israel into tough passes. And then when they're in the offensive zone, it's tough. You want to score, you want to take any good shot you get, but you've got to possess the ball if you're up in the offensive zone, right? Here's a battle off the draw. Almost coming away with it was Ricardo Amorim. But the Israelis will get it back once again. Jack Montfort passes that ball across, and now Sasha Gannon comes over to the near side. Here's Gannon once again. Good defensive work, good footwork by the Portuguese. We're going to go over to the far side, and that was Ori Bar-David. He and his brother, Ido Bar-David, both on the field at the moment. And Ori Bar-David, number 53, was the first native-born Israeli to play for the Israel national team. When the program started up in the early 2010s, it was mostly American players of Jewish heritage, but they put a high emphasis on guys going in country, living, training, teaching, coaching in Israel. And it's been a real success story from the perspective of growing the game within the country domestically. But they love having the Davids on this roster. Abramovich gets it across. Here's Sasha Gannon.
Portugal does not have the most active defense. We noticed that yesterday in the Norway game. Until they were down a few goals, they tended to sit back.
Yeah, definitely settling the zone in and just trying to pick up guys, matching up. And there you go. That's the issue for them, is Ori Bar-David will take that pass and just fling it home. We're halfway through the first of 4 running time quarters, 15 minutes apiece, and Portugal's going to take a timeout and try and kind of get things together here. 15 minutes running time, 30 seconds stop at the end of the first 3 quarters, 2 minutes stop at the end of the fourth.
Several teams starting their first game on day 2, Israel being one of them.
One team in each pool, right, that had the first day off.
England just wrapped up their game against Bulgaria, a new program that's struggling. Struggling at the start. We're still looking for their first
passionate.
goal. They're passionate.
They really are.
Their fans are definitely passionate.
Yes.
They have some excellent coaching on the sideline. We were having a little chat with one of the coaches' wives before.
Yes. Speaking of passionate fans,
yes.
Rachel is probably a partner. I'm not sure that they're married, but yeah.
Partner, yeah.
Rachel is one of the louder fans that you'll hear. Now, we have a fan over here who told us that she's been told she's equal to 10 other people with her volume. So we'll see if she can live up to Rachel. I heard while we're calling Portugal's game yesterday, Bulgaria's game yesterday, I heard someone in the stands yelling, go get him, get open. It's so funny. She's like, yeah, at some point people just tell me to stop. But that was Rachel. She's very passionate. It's fun. I mean, it's great to see that. Her partner, Darcy Powlis, is coaching the club. Technically assistant coach, as Tucker Lubell is the nominal head coach, but he's playing. So
the Powlis Palace name runs deep in lacrosse.
Moti Silberlicht is the Israel coach.
Come on, Portugal! Woo! Come on, White!
Unfortunately, we don't have the coaching staff listed for Portugal. We'll have to continue to work on the sheets, but Portugal trying to respond to this early run by the Israelis, and that's going to be a shot out of bounds. They'll be backed up by Israel. They're going to complete a change here, taking their time. Bo Chetner flips it up top. Full circuit of the offensive zone.
Lots of patience here.
Silver comes near side to Abramovich.
I think the ball's getting dizzy now.
It's like a NASCAR race.
It is.
It's only going one way.
It's the wrong way, too.
It's about to come around the other way. They go back to Silberlicht, and things initiate. Abramovich goes to set something up. Over the top is Silberlicht. Oh, nice quick stick. Waist-high one-timer by Bo Chetner.
Looked like he was going to do the sweep across the top and slid that ball low pass to the waiting attack.
Portugal, a couple of subs up in the offensive end. Trying to see where Michael Hawkins is. He's actually not on. Oh, there he is. Okay.
He's usually around. He will bring himself onto the wing.
Yeah. That's where he is right now. He's on the far wing. You can see him, number 2, just stepping across center to stick with Jack Montfort for Israel. Montfort going after it, but nice job to grab that one by Hawkins. We were talking about him at the perfect time.
The draw player for Portugal effectively putting a long pole in on the draw. Amorim was absolutely spectacular when Portugal put him in after going down several goals. He was probably 80 to 90% in the draws.
We'll see how that works out today. Obviously, it helps when you have someone like Hawkins and others getting in aggressively from the wings. They are taking their time here with William Childs surveying from the top. Tries to drive through. He's flattened there by Ian Kadish. Off to the races, Ryan Fitzpatrick on the run. He's going to let it rip, I think. He will. Nice save. Stephen Callisto. And he's going to control the rebound.
Great low stop by the keeper.
Portugal going to be patient here. They got lots of time and space. They go back to Callisto.
It's looking a little bit like yesterday when Portugal went down 6 goals to a very spirited Norway team.
It's a good point. I mean, as much as it looks like this may be the start of a rout, that's exactly what it looked like yesterday. That's going to go off of Israel. Justin Krusch starts with possession quickly up to Hawkins. Watch out for Thomas Vela, number 0 over on the far side. Vela, who plays in the National Lacrosse League. A pretty big season. His biggest season with the Colorado Mammoth this year. Here's Hawkins. Hawkins and Vela are basically the big scorers. Everyone else is kind of playing off of them. You can see the line across and then the rip. Hawkins switching hands, and it will be Portugal ball on the backup. Nice hustle there by Michael Begg to get back and get that one. Vela with his maybe first touch that we've seen. As the ball popped out, it goes straight back to him. Seth Mahler with some big D, but he fights through. Vela gets a little short arm shot as he's being hit. Flattened by Brendan Grove.
I'm pretty sure the Israeli coaches have warned the players about Hawkins.
Yeah, Hawkins and Vela, I mean, you're not going to see them with a short stick covering them very often. Right now they do, though, as Jack Montfort is on, and they're going to switch immediately. Israel gets that. Oh, great strip by Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think our fan to the right was correct. She does bring the volume and the passion. Israel settling down. Matthew Balter has it down along the wing. Looked like he was going to come up to Jack Montford, and Montford wasn't appearing to be ready. Now he is. And this is Gannon. Slips, and that is going to happen. They do have cleats, but I was out checking the grass before the game, and with the kind of on and off drizzly rain, it's pretty slick at times on the field.
Yeah, the natural grass, the guys are playing on turf and on natural grass. I don't know how many pairs of shoes they brought.
Hopefully at least 2.
We do have a flag down on the field.
Portugal taking their time to take advantage of the time before the penalty is applied. Here's Vela. Flings it across to Hawkins. That's going to be a goal. The first
finish.
one for Portugal. Beautiful look. Lovely finish.
We have a technical that's wiped out.
Yes, about 15 feet that way. We're into the final minute of the first quarter, and Portugal would be thrilled if they can turn this game around the way they did yesterday.
Well, it's looking a little bit like that
Yep.
now. We'll see what happens off the draw here.
They need to get possession, as you pointed out, and they need to get possession and get in the offensive zone. That's really only the second extended possession they've had in
Yes.
this quarter.
Looks like our friend Amorum's going to have some struggles at the face-off circle with our pinch and pop draw man from Israel.
Ian Kadish is really something at the dot. He's been he's a veteran of that club. Again, been with the team for a decade or so, and yeah, he is excellent getting possession. And there's a beautiful pass from Fruling. That's going to lead to a Matthew Balter goal, and Balter immediately races over to thank Fruling for that pass.
That's dodging up the left side when the long pole isn't paying attention. Just sliding in behind, quick pass, and it's in. We saw that actually yesterday with the Norway game. Israel's going to have to be aware of that. That seemed to be one of their consistent moves.
We have Sasha Gannon in to take this draw. See if it's a chance for Amorim. Yeah, the pole, Amorim gets that ball. Watch out behind you. Nice job getting rid of it just before Chetner could trail check. They try the late shot with just a couple of seconds to go. Had a chance. It was a bit far, though, and we're going to go to the break with the score Israel 6 and Portugal 1. I'm Stephen Staff with Bill Searle, and this is the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship from Wrocław. If you're finding this gets caught up, we'll switch the headset around. Welcome back, lacrosse friends, to the 2025 Euros here in Wrocław. I'm Stephen Stamp with Bill Searle. And Bill, let's have a chat about this Group E that Portugal and Israel find themselves in.
It's the proverbial group of death after watching Portugal and Norway play yesterday in a tight finish. You've got Israel, Scotland, Norway, Portugal, all in the same pool. Israel does look like the top dog, but after that, it's a dogfight. Scotland is also in that pool, and that first game Scotland played, dropping a decision to a strong Switzerland team, is going to create a big log jam for points in those spots. There's a good chance we'll see a second and third place team coming out of this pool, but you never know.
You never know, and there's different. I'm not sure exactly the formula. There's goal differential and things. So you will see teams are going to try and beat. Honestly, obviously Portugal and Norway are the lower seeded, lower ranked teams. The other teams, Switzerland, Scotland, and Israel, are going to try and beat them by 12 goals or more, because you can have up to a plus 12 difference in a game, and that will be huge because the top two from each of the 5 divisions go on into the top 12, which are the teams playing in to get for those final 7 spots to earn a position in the 2027 Worlds in Japan. 2 of the third place teams also advance into that top 12. Winning your division gets you straight to the quarterfinals, which means one more win, and you are into the semis, and you've booked your ticket.
I think second place in the division also gets to go through,
but not straight to the quarterfinals.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you finish first, you go straight to the quarterfinals, and you get and one more win, and you're in to the Worlds. If you come second, you have a play-in game against one of the other 8 teams in that second and third positions to get to the quarterfinals. Play-in day will be next Tuesday.
That's a long day. There are a lot of games that day.
Tuesday? I think it's just 8 games, actually. That's the short day, yeah.
Tuesday's
Here's a drive to the net and a shot. Sorry, by Ryan Cohen. Yeah, Tuesday's the quick day. Well, it's spread out, but focused over on Field 1 on Excise Field. Jan Ridzak Field number 2. And this one, I don't think this one has a name. Oh, it is. Does it? McCoy Kopek. There
Has
you
a
go.
name?
Yeah, we'll have to check the story. Kopernik, church player standing in front of the sign. Jan Ridzak, a local Polish lacrosse legend. Big battle, and that ball will be awarded to Israel. That's what Portugal needs to do, is get that kind of pressure on. Doesn't work out this time. Israel will go back to the offense with Matthew Flapan, number 40 there with the bright blue shoes, moving the ball through. You're gonna grow to love Matthew Flapan the more you watch him. One of those gritty guys, goes both ways. Very good stick skills, talented player, but also a grinder on the defensive side.
He got a lot of experience. He's played in 3 World Box Championships with
Yes.
Israel.
Yes. And it's playing pretty much every opportunity to play for Israel that there is. In the E-Box, he plays for Gold Star Tel Aviv in the Alice Robeski Memorial. He's played in the Laxnai tournament in upstate New York in the fall. Flapan, a regular on the Israeli side. One of the true leaders of the program. There's a swim move by Fruling. Flips it back up to the top. And Montfort will keep it moving. Sidearm rip and a beauty from Sasha Gannon.
Yep, away from the goalie stick. Right at the hip.
We don't have the luxury of replays here on Field 3, but you can just hit that little arrow back a couple times on your YouTube feed on Lax TV or on World Lacrosse TV. Just hit that back arrow a bit and check out that beautiful play.
So teams will also be competing for that Division II World Championships, which is also going to take place. We're going to have a group of 24 teams, 14 of which will come from the European Championship here.
Yeah, teams 8 through 21. So on the final day of this tournament, we'll have the gold medal game wrapping things up Just before that, we will have the 7th place game, the winner of whom goes to the Worlds in Japan, the loser off to the Division 2 Worlds, not yet announced or established where that will be. And then the third game that day, or the first game, will be the 21st place game, because that will decide the final entrant from Europe in the 2027 World Division 2 Championship.
We have a flag down. They just moved the ball out of the box.
Here's an opportunity for Portugal.
We have a slash, a non-releasable penalty.
And Portugal has used a timeout, so if they can get a goal early on here, be interesting to see if they use a timeout, try and maximize their time on the man up. Michael Begg up at the top, moves it across, and William Childs flips it. I thought Hawkins was going to let that go. That was tipped.
Number 5 got a stick on him as he was trying to follow through.
Vela come up to Hawkins. Closing ground quickly, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Another flag.
We have another slash. Very active sticks on the Israeli side. Sometimes a little too active.
Yeah. So let's see what they can do with this now. They've had one shot now. The first penalty is released, but it's still a 6-on-5. Hawkins patrolling. They try to move it down low, and that's going to be Israeli ball. There's a pass.
Yeah, they're looking for that skip pass.
Nice idea. Israeli's very good at getting sticks in the lanes. No worries. Got some English lads crossing through to check out this game, scouting out their future opponents in that they are expecting maybe to run into with Israel.
81 was making the ref let it be known that he didn't appreciate that check on the hip.
Whereabouts was it? Was it right there where he was rubbing himself?
Yes.
Yeah, it was right here. It really hurts. Israel's just going to let the final seconds of this penalty tick away. And they will bring in Hayden Fruling. And then Fitzpatrick will head back in the defensive zone, subbing in for Ethan Dickturl, who would come in. It's interesting to see all the long poles switching in and out and talking to Darcy Palace, the Bulgaria coach. And you were noting they only had 2 long poles on the field at a time sometimes. Well, they only have 3 long poles. Literally, they have 3 players who play it. They have 3 sticks. So what a rip. But that's the difference between some of these programs, and it's great to see them developing, but a team like Israel is just ripping shots home. And again, they're going to try to win by at least 12.
Yeah, the Bulgarian team, a lot of heart. Fans are great, but you imagine they footed the bill for the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Each of the players. That's that's a lot to give. To come and play here. What a great experience.
Oh, they're loving it. Absolutely loving it. Here comes Ricardo Amorim up against Yakov Silberlicht.
Go back to Bulgaria. You can imagine it's relatively difficult to just get equipment.
It is.
In Bulgaria.
Yep. Hawkins takes this. Is going to be possession for the Portuguese. They're going to take their time. Bring in William Childs. Isolating Vela. Well defended there by Mahler. Mahler, another one of the early members of this Israeli national program who spent copious time in Ashkelon at the national training facility. Diving attempt to race to the net, to the ball. And
that's going to cause a crease violation.
Yep. Drew Morris with the outlet pass. He's playing here in the first half for Israel. We'll see if the teams switch out goaltenders at halftime. I would think this seems like a game where both teams would get both their goalies a chance to play. Some big pressure from Vela, who actually got a bit of contact on Morris. Seemed to draw too much ire from the Israelis. But we'll see if if they note that and keep an eye on him and maybe lay some sticks on him a bit later. Silverlick down into the corner to Chetner, who flicks it behind the net. Quick movement around. The whole player coming off the bench. Good communication to let Flapen know that he was being hounded by Luis Vasconcelos. Apologies to the Portuguese fans for any names we mispronounced. We've been working on them. Gone through the pronunciation guides.
Portuguese ones are actually pretty straightforward. There's a few other ones that are other teams that it's a little more challenging.
It can get tricky. I find the trickiest thing is when you're switching from one nation to another, going from, say, Serbia or Czechs to, say, Japan.
Yeah.
Where Japan's relatively easy because it's pretty much just sounds like it's spelled, but some of the big changes in the languages can make it difficult. But hey, that's not anyone else's issue. We'll deal with that. But we appreciate your patience with us as Flapen takes this pass, quickly moves it across, and Ido Bar David down to Chetner. There's a techno music festival that is launching later today, and they're warming up for it. There's a hard rip, nice save.
The music festival should make our 5 o'clock game interesting.
Yeah, because if this is just as they're getting ready for the festival, when it launches at 5, we'll see. It's a techno festival. Don't hate the sound. I mean, it's pretty good music, but it's just it's like 2 fields over for us right now. What a check by Bo Chetner. Oh, good effort to flick it ahead.
Wow.
Nice job, Tyler Krusch. Hawkins driving in the net. He's going to rip it. Scores! Michael Hawkins, what a finish after great play by Tyler Krusch, who's going to go and pick up some of his gear. Small price to play, flinging the gear to get that pass made ahead.
Almost questioning whether the ball stayed in his stick when it fell, and that was withholding, but
Oh,
I guess it came out quick enough.
Israel, I believe, is taking this timeout.
Worked and it's in their favor. I had a great discussion this morning with one of the officials from England. We were talking about the LA Olympics, which are fast approaching as much as we know it's 3 years away, 3 summers away. There's a lot to be done before then. And in the Olympics, of course, we've got the Sixes Lacrosse. Sixes Lacrosse has been introduced as a way to get more people involved. Feeling that it's a quicker, more interesting game for spectators who are not familiar with lacrosse, who haven't grown up watching.
And quicker for nations to get into. 'Cause on the very basic level, you need about 11 players instead of 23 or so.
So the concern was, because we don't know what the qualifying is going to be, they talk about them having a world championship, and the numbers were staggering. They're talking about 60 countries competing for what amounts to 6 positions at the Olympics, 6 men's positions and 6 women's positions. What are, his concern was about teams just loading up, hanging out at the NLL games and PLL games and loading up on kids who have some heritage in their country. Interesting thought.
I remember speaking to somebody who I had some friends who went to the World Hockey Championships, level 3 and 4. Actually, a friend who played for Israel at the Hockey Worlds, and they went to South Africa for their division. I think it was 3B at the time, and they were flying in from a camp in Israel, and on the flight to South Africa, some of the Canadian guys they brought in were explaining things like offside and icing to the Israeli kids, because Israel didn't have any rinks that were big enough to have lines. They just had ice where they just skate around.
They could skate and shoot.
They could skate and shoot, but they had, they're figuring things out on the fly. And it's not quite to that level maybe for some of these teams. A great shot to the far side by Bo Chetner. Beautiful finish.
Great ball movement off the draw. Really quick.
But that is the challenge, right? Is finding, getting the opportunities to play, getting the even in, England has been talking about they don't have a lot of box facilities, so they're trying to build their box game. A lot of these nations just don't have a lot of facilities, and you talked about gear. It's really hard to get gear. So anytime you can help anyone, I wound up helping coach the Norwegian women at the She Box tournament in Prague in April, and I have one bag of gear so far to take over to the Norwegians, and I'm trying to collect some more. Just get them rib pads, arm guards, whatever we can get, gloves, sticks. Obviously basics, but that's the level for a lot of the nations, just trying to get the gear. And there's so many people doing so much to help. I know people who have taken bags of gear all over the world.
Africa's a classic example of
Yep.
people sending all sorts of stuff over when Uganda was the original team to start out.
In Kenya, you'll see a friend of mine, Ashley Aitken, was a big part of that with Storm Trentham, coaching and helping run the Kenya women's team, girls team. And you'll see a lot of Peterborough Lakers gear over in Kenya because Ashley was just getting stuff for them to wear. And they loved the Lakers because she's from Peterborough and she, would bring that along with her. But it's great to see the international effort that people make to try to help grow the game globally.
It's interesting because I think that's going to play into the Division 2. I'm really curious about this. I mean, let's face it, Canada and the United States have been going toe-to-toe for the World Championship for as long as we can remember, since they started.
Yeah, and they've split 2 of the last 5 with the 5th one technically the U.S. winning. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, who's going to compete? Who's going to push them?
Who's going to push? And it's nice to see that there is, a realistic championship for some of those other teams, not just the what used to be called the Blue Division.
What a great rip on the spin by Jack Monfort.
Great low to high. So it was a technical foul, is wiped out. So we're going to be even strength.
10-2 Israel as we approach halftime. I was talking to one of the coaches, or I heard about one of the coaches for the Italy hockey team, national team, and he said that it's funny you say you go through the NLL lineup to look for names. He said he literally went through the NHL rosters and got in touch with every player whose name ended in I or O. And you just say, what's your heritage? There's discussion about that. I think it's very valuable as Israel goes back to their goaltender, Drew Morris. I think there's great value in having some heritage players to help build the team, as coaches on the field, really help develop it. But the goal is build domestically, right? And finding that balance,
I think,
is a challenge.
Two of the teams, Germany and Israel, are two of the classic teams that have done that. Try to build it within.
Yeah. And I know people talk about Israel having a lot of American players, but they're American guys that are legitimately getting over there to Ashkelon, to the training facility and training, teaching, coaching.
Oh, they have a flag down.
Didn't see what that one's for, but just a few seconds left. Could we have a pole goal? No. Can we have a pole assist?
Oh,
no, the time will run out.
I thought they might have wanted to just hold for the possession.
Now, did they hold still? They still had the ball, right? So
they
will.
did. His little flip pass was caught.
So Israel will have possession when we start the third quarter in 10 minutes. I'm Stephen Stamp with Bill Searle. Thanks for being with us here for the 2025 Euros in Wrocław, Poland.
we honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
The Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
Wrocław. I'm Stephen Stamp with Bill Searle. It's 10-2 for Israel. Portugal will start on the man down, and Israel will try to extend this lead. We'll see how things shake out as we get going here on field 3.
You were partially right. This is a world qualifier.
Yes.
Top 7 going to be moving on to Japan in 2027.
Israel highly anticipating being one of those. What a finish. Nice skip pass. You get it down to Ryan Cohen. He buries one, and Israel just keeps on rolling.
Those are the skip passes that aren't getting through for Portugal. The Israelis tend, long poles have a very good stick skills across the center of their defense. The Portuguese are having a tough time getting the ball through there. Yesterday they had a little more success with Norway.
Max Rodman coming out to take a draw for Portugal against Ian Kadish. Ricardo Amorim, number 30, the long pole, has been taking most of them, and you were raving about how he did yesterday.
He was fantastic. You know, they had him after they were down 4 goals. They put him in, and
there you go. An absolute blast from Michael Begg. And Portugal's got the first goal of the second half.
Good start.
And it does, you know, it makes a difference when you get something like that going, you get a positive. You can hear, I'm sure you guys are picking up on the excitement of the crowd beside us, the Portuguese fans. And we saw it with Bulgaria. Anything that happens, they get very, very fired up. But if you're getting, you know, if it's constantly the play flowing the other way, it's hard to maintain that level of enthusiasm, right?
And we are actually only about 12 feet away from the stands where
Yes.
the Portuguese fans are.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to have a tripping call here.
Let's go, ref!
So what is it Kadish going?
Yeah, a little worried about how slow that Michael Hawkins got up. He seems to be okay. Shake it off.
Making sure the socks are all set.
Oh, he got chopped right in the top of the foot.
Yeah. Seems to be moving okay. Took like 4 or 5 steps to kind of work through it. Now you wouldn't notice from his gait if there's anything going on, so that's a good sign. Portugal did make a huge comeback yesterday to get within 1 of Norway.
They started that game down 6-0.
Will they be able to make the same kind of comeback here? A bit more of a hill to climb, a bit tougher opponent, but you know, they get it 1 goal at a time. Vela's going to rip. Nice foot save by Drew Morris. Both teams sticking with their starting goaltenders. Figured they would. Nobody was out warming up at halftime.
He was down low before that ball came out of his stick. He knew that was a low-to-low shot. You better see if Vela corrects that and goes low to high next time.
Penalty coming to the Portuguese now, which will even things up if the other hasn't expired yet. There's a nice catch by Callisto on that shot.
Israeli player coming across the top with a crippler on him.
So the 1 minute for attempted crippling. And we will be even for a bit. Again, the time keeps ticking away. So Kadish will be released pretty soon. 15-minute running time halves. Wow, and that is as simple as you can make it. Just give the ball to Matthew Balter and let him just rip it through the goaltender.
The long ball almost looked like he was listening to the bench yelling all even, and took a look to see who was coming from where.
It was all even. 5 aside.
Yes. I think he got more than 1 minute on that foul, because it's been more than a minute he's been sitting in the box.
Yeah.
That might have been a 2.
I thought I saw the 1 finger go up as well, but
We'll see who gets released first.
yeah. Yeah, we don't have the that penalty show. Oh, it was 1 minute slash. 20. Oh no, that's an earlier penalty. So
I don't know if.
yeah, we're waiting for the stats page to reset.
Does Silver Lake normally take draws?
No.
He won
occasionally.
He won that one clean. Back to the long pull, or LSM coming off the
Right.
wing.
Well, it's Ian Kadish, the face-off guy, who's in the box, in the chair. He is released now. So that's you send Silverlick out.
Is he the utility guy?
He can do anything. Yeah, utility is a good term. Although utility sounds a bit like you're okay at everything. Yakov Silverlick's actually good at almost every aspect of the game. Good to very good. Ori Bardavid moves it on quickly over to Gannon. Gannon having a peek. Two-man pick and pop, and that
Good.
almost got through. Nice active stick.
Good active stick by Cruz, clamping down before that ball could reach the player on the crease.
Robert Webster surveying his options. Here comes some pressure. I said, oh, not a bad pass, just a bit too far.
Ooh, that might have been a bit of a suicide.
And he was throwing it to Michael Webster, who I believe is his brother. You have to double check that one.
Check with 23andMe.
I was just going to look on the roster. But.
Oh.
They're loving Webster over as he is trailing, and maybe enough of a presence to force Matthew Balter to ping that one off the post. Down to Chetner.
Israel seemed content to work the ball around the outside.
Bo Chetner, big first half with 4 goals.
He isolated the short pole behind the net, went one-on-one.
Ryan Cohen saying, let's get it around. Let's do a flow backwards from what they did before. And they've got Balter sitting at X, setting a pick. Oh, Chetner got handcuffed. Great play by Emmeram. And behind the back flip. That is a heck of a sequence for Ricardo Emmeram. Callisto off to the far side. And Michael Webster. So Michael's number 4, Robert Webster, number 36, is right in front of us here at the center line. He is open if they need him, although it's a long pass.
They ball taxied it over. That's what having a guy like Michael Hawkins can do for you. He can get the ball from the back end of the field to the front end of the field.
He's going to take this pass from Childs. They're slipping Vela over to the near side here on his offside, and then trying to draw all the Israeli defenders in.
Made a crease violation.
So will Israel possession.
He wants him to push the ball back.
Yeah. Nice wheels there from Sasha Gannon, but he steps out. Oh no.
We got a bad line change. The player made it back in.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, the long pole for Israel, was standing in the slot. Memories of the Chinese club in 2018 in Netanya, where they were playing one of their long poles in the slot for most of their offensive sets. But he will head back now and they'll complete the change.
Interesting strategy.
Yeah, I talked to one of their coaches, Reed Reinhold, and he was saying, hey, he was one of our best stick skill guys. He just ran the offense really well. Most of it flowed through him. Might have been their leading scorer, actually. I'm not sure. You can go look that one up. Good at point bench for those stats in the 2018 Worlds.
I remember playing against Tom Montour. Long stick attack.
Yeah. What a save by Callisto on a wide open look there from Balter. Webster. Nice job heading up over center. Some pressure here on Cruz. Hands it back to Hawkins. Wise play by Portugal here to take some time, value this possession, really try to generate a high-quality chance. They'll get a little pick for Vela. It was well played by the defense. But Ryan Fitzpatrick out there taking away the pass even over to Hawkins. This child circles around, gets a shot. Drew Moore stops, and the Israelis immediately pushing the pace. Driving up the field is Jack Montfort.
Bit of a forced shot. He didn't have much of an angle on that.
And you will not stop Bo Chetner very often from that spot. No force on that one.
I had a little conversation with one of the English goaltenders, Simon Bellamy, great Ottawa guy, former Carlton Raven.
613 Lax.
613 Lax. And I was chatting with him about the teams that they were concerned with. And Latvia came up. Latvia, Ireland, and Germany seem to be on their radar. It'd be interesting. We have not seen, at least I haven't seen Germany play in the tournament yet.
Latvia won their opening game 14-4 over the Netherlands, which I think shocked a lot of people. The spread was that big.
Yes, the Netherlands came in, looking like a team that would be certainly challenging.
Kadish going for the net. Nice trail check, stripping that ball. Israel will retain possession. Good wheels there by Balter. Deemed a shot. Probably was, I guess. I mean, he was trying to shoot. Hayden Fruling gets it down to Chetner. They just kind of back away and leave Chetner space, which, I mean, he was down goal line extended, so I guess it's okay. Come back up to Ori Bar David.
Taking their time on their change.
Back up to David. His first appearance with the Israeli team came as a youngster in the 2017 European Box Championships in Turku. There's a nice rip from the outside. Abramovich joins the club and gets some altitude on that celebration jump with Ori Bar David.
I'm guessing that goal is a little more special than some of the others, judging by the team reaction.
Let's see if they go get that ball for him. Yeah, nobody's going after it. Yeah, Ori Bar David, who grew up, I believe, in Tel Aviv, may have been down closer to Ashkelon, but he learned the game in school programs that the guys like Seth Mahler and Jakob Silverlicht were running, and came up and joined the national team and made that debut in Turku. It was a momentous occasion, and here's a beautiful, oh, what a save. Callisto, that's a beauty.
I want to mark that
Yes.
timestamp down.
Good point. If the official would just move, I can see how long is left in the quarter. 17, 220?
Yeah. What a great stop. Israel's riding pretty hard here.
Pretty effective clear, though. Oh, great check. Fitzpatrick, to me, has been, I think Fitzpatrick's been the best defender I've seen yet in the tournament. Nice pass, Silverlicht, all alone in the middle. Quick fake. Israel's going to slow it back down. Silverlicht up at the top. There's a run towards the net. Nicely picked up there by Morris. Or Webster, sorry.
He got a little upset with himself as he threw the ball right at his head.
I'm digging these Webster. We're going to call them brothers until we find out otherwise, which will be soon. Oh, big hit. Ryan Cohen just playing the man. Still the ball on the ground.
I think he got away with using the forearm on that.
There was a touch of forearm. I thought it was mostly shoulder. Shoulder, upper arm. Okay. So a 1 minute slashing call to Ryan Cohen. Not on the big hit. That was fine. But then chopping during the battle for possession. So Portugal will go back to the man up.
It's a good opportunity here for Portugal to.
26 seconds. You're probably going to go attack, right? Not wait and have possession next as the fourth starts.
Who knows?
I suppose you go and see what happens. If you have a great chance, go ahead and try to score. Or, worst case scenario, throw a pass away.
And you know Israel's just going to hold the ball for possession here.
Yes. Just 11 seconds to go. Good pressure coming from Vela. And there's just too much space for the Portuguese to get onto the Israelis. And they will go to the quarter break. Up by 14-3, down by a player, but in possession of the ball when quarter number 4 starts at the 2025 European Men's Lacrosse Championship here in Wrocław. Welcome back, lacrosse friends, to the European Men's Lacrosse Championship in Wrocław, Poland. I'm Stephen Stamp with Bill Searle, and the ball is way down in the Israeli end in the stick of Ryan Fitzpatrick. I was just saying, was it during the break that I said I think he's been the best defender I've seen in the tournament, or was that on air? I don't remember.
I think he said it on air.
There you go.
I'm going to agree with you.
And it's reinforced right there by Fitzpatrick, just gliding up the field into the offensive zone. He's going to stay there once again. Got the hand up, circling to indicating to circle around, puts the fist up to indicate their play.
They're just going to ride out the time on the penalty.
It will expire, and Cohen released back onto the field. Israel to full strength, and Fitzpatrick still in the offensive zone. Going to come and set a pick. I'm looking forward to seeing him get possession of the ball up here. Yes. See what he does with it. Don't go back.
I
He's going back.
I think Webster will have a say in that.
He'll dodge towards the top. Jump fake. Another nice save, Callisto. He's been sharp.
Absolutely. Again, they isolated the defensive short stick behind the net. They're going to go one-on-one with that guy every time.
So was that a 30-second penalty to Balter, a minor?
Yeah, he walked through the crease.
Oh, okay. You can't do that.
You can't. For some reason, I thought I remembered them. A lot of referees just ignore it if the guy's behind the play.
Yeah. Nice close there
Oh, look who has
from
the
Austin
ball.
Kolish, but it's Fitzpatrick that gets it. Oh, that's got to be,
There's a hole.
yeah.
Oh, there's
Three flags, 4 flags at the field.
Let's say Hat's next.
Oh, great finish. Lovely pass through. And Ian Kadish, not usually a big scorer, but he looked quite comfortable with the ball in his stick on top of the crease.
There's a lot of linen on the field.
Make a perfect triangle off to the left of us, probably where the flag is. It's quite lovely.
They're going to stop the clock and have a little discussion here. I'm wondering if any of them were personal fouls. If they weren't, they were all going to be wiped out.
Oh,
they got
there's a slash. So the goal is good, but Austin Kolish will go to the penalty area and have a seat.
So I'm wondering if that ends up just being a 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 1-minute slash, and then the minor is wiped out.
Trying to get used to using that minor.
Minor major?
The clinic this year, that was one of the things. It's no longer a technical foul, they're minor foul.
It makes more sense.
It does.
It's just habit. You do it for years. You've been reffing for how long?
About 35 years.
35 years, calling it a technical foul. Now you have to call it a minor foul. It takes a little adjustment. Great battle and racing in was Aiden Hausenbold. He rips it. Nice save.
It's the opportunity to take it.
Nice team, Michael.
What's your favorite goal of the game so far, Bill?
I don't have a favorite. They're happening so quickly.
Yeah. I think a couple of those saves by...
You know what? The 2 saves that the goaltender on Portugal made, I thought were spectacular. The one right into his feet, he got closed down on it.
Mm-hmm.
The other quick one from the far crease, or far side of the crease. Just great movement.
Yeah.
We're even up now. Portuguese players back onto the field. At this point, Israel's probably content to move the ball around the outside. There's no pressure on him right now. I'm curious as to whether, if he stayed there, whether they'd put a stall call up.
That pass gets loose, and then it popped up in the air off the stick of Montfort. Goes straight to Bo Chetner, and Israel will go back into possession. They're up by 12. As we mentioned, the maximum differential that counts on that shot flings wide by Gannon is 12. So teams like Israel and some of the other, the higher ranked teams that are going to be battling for those first, second, and third places in the pools.
They'll be aware of that number.
Yeah, they want to win by 12 or more. And my guess is if you're up by 12, you want to add at least 1, right? Have a bit of a margin for error. Portugal has shown that they can definitely score when they are able to create opportunities.
That 12 number is kind of important when you
Yeah.
Think of teams not needing to run up the score and embarrass anybody.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You don't need to win by 20. It won't help you, but winning by 12 is big. Especially because you can't make that up. If you win a game by 11 and you're going up for that third spot, say against teams that have beaten the lower seed teams by 12, both of them, there's no way to get it back. Oh, what a rip.
Okay, I have a new favorite shot. Low to high.
Low to high.
Love it.
Sasha again, and I love the low to high. That's kind of a mid to high.
Yeah, he didn't quite get down by his feet, but
I like it from the hip and rise it up. Almost looks like a softball pitch.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it looks like. Imagine from a goaltender perspective, you're watching the stick come down from the hip, and all of a sudden it's over your shoulder.
Don't know how it shows up on the stream, but the rain is falling a little more heavily. Haven't seen huge effects on the play. A little slippy on the field. I would dare to say the huge wind yesterday and the day before might have had more impact.
Yeah,
And we have a poll goal from Aiden Hausenbold. If we'd had a poll for who's going to get a poll goal, we're saying Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
But it's Aiden Hausenbold.
and that's the second time he's gone down and taken a
Yeah.
shot. I don't know if Fitzpatrick has actually taken a shot.
No, I don't think he has. Much as we encourage him to.
Yes.
We've talked about this before. That I'm an old high school long pole, ventured over center about once, didn't get a shot. I'm a huge fan of the poles going up and shooting.
Having played LSM quite a few times, I do enjoy a good rush up the field, drawing the slide or being able to take that snipe.
LSM's one of my favorite positions to watch. A good LSM can have such an outsized impact on a game.
Absolutely. If you can find guys who can play that position and play it well, I've had the privilege of playing with quite a few LSMs in my time.
Remember the Brock Badgers a few years ago? This was several years ago. Were alternating their LSMs. They'd have Latrell Harris play LSM, then slide back to close D, and he was alternating with. Oh my goodness! Such a good player. Another really good defender who would slide up to LSM. Played in the PBLA.
Not sure.
I'm blanking on his name at the moment, but they would just alternate those guys, and it would just be wave after wave because they're so good defensively, and then both super athletic, skilled with the stick.
I had the privilege of watching Latrell Harris play in the Big Attaway twice,
Yeah,
including the year they won it. And actually, the goaltender for that team when they won it is sitting about 15 feet to my right, Simon Bellamy.
there you go. And when you say the year they won it recently, because
Recently, they won
they've
it.
won a whole bunch. 18?
Brock, yeah.
Yeah.
They hadn't won it in a few
Championships?
years, and then they won it in North Bay, Ontario.
That was a thriller.
Yes,
The
it was,
overtime game.
against Guelph.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a spectacular game.
I remember that shot coming in, circling over the top, and just, what a play. Canadian University Field Lacrosse Association, what we're talking about, very exciting. Field lacrosse action, based mostly in Ontario, a couple teams in Quebec.
There is a developing league out in the East Coast as well.
There is the Muffle Maritime University Field
That's
Lacrosse League.
correct. I actually have 3 members of St. FX on
Nice.
on my men's team.
That's a fun league. And out west, I mean, there are teams. University of Victoria's got a club going on and off. University of BC. Simon Fraser, of course, plays in the U.S. In the not the NCAA, the MCLA.
NCLA.
MCLA, yeah. Israel slowing things down. They've now got a 14-goal lead, so they're probably really going to slow things down here. You've been around the Carleton Ravens quite a bit. They've had a tremendous development over the last handful of years.
They have. We had a bit of a slip last year, losing basically, 2 of the top scorers in Kufla.
Yeah, I think Sam Trumbull actually won the scoring title, didn't he, the year
Sam
before?
did win this, and he had Cameron York.
Mm-hmm.
Slipping on the third there. Oh, Jacob Gasparetti,
Yeah.
who had transferred over from Bishops, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob going pro hasn't quite worked out for him.
Not yet.
But, Sam had moved on to the University of Denver.
Yeah, big time program, and he's absolutely loving that. I mean, hard rip from Chetner, blocked down by one of the Webster brothers. That was Robert getting down on that one. 20 and 21-year-olds from Michigan, but their mother born in Portugal, and they have substantial Portuguese heritage, and they are stoked to be part of this. And that's what we're talking about with some of these heritage players who come over and lend so much to the development of the game, and hopefully stick in it for the long term. That's the key, right? You want guys who are going to be around, just continue to help grow the game domestically. Portugal taking their time as Hawkins sitting up top. Heads over to Austin Kolish.
We got 6 minutes left in the game.
You can go to worldlacrosse.sport. Oh, what a bouncer. Hawkins, his third of the game. I believe 7th of the tournament.
That is correct. He had 4 goals yesterday. That was a great rip from right on the restraining line. Again, away from the goaltender's stick. It was a difficult place to go for the goaltender to get it.
48.
Draws one cleanly. I assume Israel is going to try and run some time off the clock. They don't want to get within the 12 goal difference, seeing as that's the maximum difference you can have in a game, and you don't want to be caught, the one team that didn't have a 12 goal difference in the games. Certainly with the games against the weaker teams.
Yes. Yeah, you're not going to see, you're not going to see the teams like Israel and Switzerland, say, beating each other by a dozen, I wouldn't think. Israel can pour it on when they want to. Nice stick there from Robert Webster. And that's going to be Portugal possession. I was trying to trace it down with Bo Chetner.
There's no free clears going here.
No.
They're getting pressured every time.
Portugal taking their time. Michael Webster, nice pass ahead. Here comes Vela. Great run, great goal. That is what Thomas Vela can bring for you. And we have ourselves a 12-goal gap, which is right on that margin for where these teams want to be.
I'm pretty sure Colorado Mammoth fans have seen that happen
Yes.
quite a few times.
That acceleration, right?
That acceleration, shooting on the run like that is a true skill.
It looks so easy when someone like Thomas Vela does it.
The players who can do it make it look easy all the time.
This looks like the most natural thing in the world, but honestly, it's really not that easy. Yeah, in Israel, Moti Silberlek's going to take a time out, talk to his club about this, about valuing possession in the offensive zone and making sure they're not forcing things. They want to score, but boy, they're trying to force some passes that aren't there.
I think the discussion is going to be about the clock.
Yeah.
And again, we're looking at that 12-goal difference, which could come into play at some time. I'm not really worried that it would in the end, but you got to take everything into account.
And those are kind of two sides of the same coin. Talking about valuing possession means you're going to not be giving the ball up. You're going to let the clock keep ticking.
Absolutely.
We'll be back on. Bill and I will be back here this afternoon over on Field 1, I believe, for the Finland-Netherlands game, which is going to be really interesting because we saw Finland blank Bulgaria in Bulgaria's first ever game at an international tournament. And Finland, I mean, they looked good, but they didn't look great, and it's hard to say
It was so
in a
hard
game that was so one-sided.
to gauge something
Yeah.
where you don't want to embarrass anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to work the ball around.
As you pointed out yesterday, trying not to develop bad habits. Just got to avoid that.
Yeah, you're all of a sudden you're going into your next game, and you don't want to bring some of the habits that can creep in.
Netherlands,
Certainly
meanwhile,
ego.
the surprising loss. Not surprisingly, they lost to Latvia necessarily, but 14-4.
Was it 16-4?
Might have been 16-4.
It was 14-4 or 16-4. I heard there were a couple of shooters on Latvia that were just off the charts.
Yeah, it's 14-4.
Yeah. Oh. Good active stick by Michael Webster.
Ido Bar David certainly wasn't about letting the clock just tick away because
Yeah.
they shot within 6 seconds of play resuming. But it was a pretty good quality chance. Here's Kadish, who had a goal earlier. He's going to head back to the bench, as does Aiden Hausenbold, who had a goal, the long pole goal for Israel.
Oh, I figure they're going to get some runners on here.
Bar David to Flepen. Leaves it there for Gannon.
We're down to about 2.5 minutes. Looks like some time killing going on.
Chetner comes across to Ido Bar David, up to Ori Bar David.
He wants to force him to chase him down into the corner.
And the Bar David, I just checked, here's Ori, and they are actually from Netanya, where the Worlds were held in 2018. Stall warning in effect now. Oh, and the pass gets away.
All right, it's an opportunity for Portugal to cut it a little bit into that lead.
Didn't hit anyone, that's good. We had the one ball yesterday when the balls kept getting on the field. Somebody threw one off and actually came out, deflected up, and hit me in the chest. I never had that before. I'm still a little salty. Max Rodman, great job charging into the offensive zone.
And
Flag goes up. Wow. Michael Hawkins taking his time as they complete the change. Austin Kolish will take this pass. Looking to the far side to Michael Begg, who had a big goal for Portugal a while ago. Fighting off a check. He'll rip one. That one's blocked out front. Looks like it's Dolev Gola. Dolev Giva.
So Israel was offside.
There you go.
So we're going to make this 30 seconds count.
Bella starting with possession.
Portugal trying to get William Childs on.
They have him. And they'll
Now
take a
they've taken
timeout.
a timeout.
Is that a timeout or are they just? Oh,
It's
so yeah. Loose buckle on the
So-
helmet there of Michael Begg.
I thought Begg got hit in the head, actually, when he took that shot.
That'll do it.
I
Pop that
think-
buckle loose.
I think I know how that strap came off.
I was figuring you had it. I saw a connection there. They come across to Vela at the top, but it's picked off by
Guess who?
Fitzpatrick. Pass ahead. What a huge play. Oh, they had Chetner. I thought they were going to go. Now they go to Chetner. I thought they were going to push it ahead because he had a great lane to the net. No defender within reach.
They did have an odd man break there.
Back to even strength as the penalty releases.
And we're down to about 35 seconds left.
Does Israel shoot again?
They don't need to.
No, I don't think so. I think you just hang on to it.
I think the coach really initially wanted that one goal cushion.
Yes, but now with the final 30 seconds, no, he definitely put his hand up and said, just hang on to the ball. So we're going to have a final score of 17-5 for Israel over Portugal. And it's been an entertaining game as Portugal's tried to battle back, but Israel definitely reestablishing themselves as one of the powers in European lacrosse.
Well, it was such a quick start by Israel.
Yeah. and not allowing Portugal to come back the way they had battled back yesterday to get within one of Norway. We will have Finland and Netherlands later. There's tons more to see, games all over all three fields all day long. So check out worldlacrosse.sport. You can watch the games on WLTV and Lax TV. Thanks so much for being with us, lacrosse friends. I'm Stephen Stamp, and he is Bill Searle, and we'll see you in a few hours.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
The Good Stick Company is here to manufacture and produce lacrosse sticks locally here in the Czech Republic. Our mission is to make lacrosse more accessible so more kids can have access to affordable, high-quality equipment so more people can play this game and we can share this sport around the world. Our philosophy on pricing is quite simple. By removing all these different logistics and these middlemen in the manufacturing process of lacrosse sticks, we can pass those savings on to you. We can make these quality lacrosse sticks affordable for more people.
All right, I'm here with Bo from the Israel national team today, Bo. So you guys were able to handle Portugal pretty convincingly. You guys are in a tough group. How important is staying focused in a game like this when you guys have a commanding lead?
Yeah, I mean, it's very important. You know, these games, it's tough. It's a tough mental battle when you get up by a lot of goals. It's hard to stay focused, stay in it. But, you know, these are the ones you got to really dial it in. These are the games you can work on your systems, you know, because when the time comes for a tough game, it has to be dialed in. So, you know, you got to stay focused and then work on those systems in these ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you scored 5 goals today, and very impressive, led your team. Now, what was the offensive game plan looking like going into this game? Was that the plan, or did it kind of just happen that way?
I mean, it kind of just happened. Like I said, you know, we have systems in place. We know what we want to do, and we did them amazingly. My teammates luckily found me a lot, and it was thanks to them. You know, they passed me the ball, and I was able to put it in the net. So
Awesome. Now, tomorrow you guys are looking to play Norway at 7 o'clock. Got a later game tomorrow. So what does the next 24 hours look like as far as preparation and recovery go?
I mean, yeah, same thing. You know, take it easy tonight, hydrate, get some good food in you, rest tonight, and same thing. Focus up, get ready to go for tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Best of luck, Bo.
Thank you.
All right, I'm here with Steven, the goalie for the Portugal national team. Steven, today was a rough game, took a lot of shots. What does that mean for you physically? How did it feel?
Saw a lot of rubber, but, you know, there's a job to do. Did as best as I could.
Yeah, you guys definitely fought hard out there. Now, another question that I have for you is, what is this experience like being out here in Poland and just getting to play for your country on your chest?
It means a lot. Extremely proud to be here. In general, number one goal is to grow the sport. That's what it means, and we try and show that, you know, every tournament we get a chance to play.
All right, Steven, thank you so much for your time.